heck is that?
This is garbage.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my first tutorial on Droneboi logic. Yes, I am using an AI-generated voice, and there is literally nothing you can do about it. Don't mind the ugly troll, he will be here for the whole video. Now the first and most important block is without a doubt the function block. The function block is the most useful and versatile logic block by far, and it isn't even close. With it you can write basically anything you want down, 1 plus 1, maybe x minus y, or even some NCalc code. It is infinitely more useful than any of these lazy Boolean blocks combined.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
Alright, enough talk, let's build. Alright, now for the logic. This block is called a threshold gate, and it is another incredibly useful block. What it does is take a numeric value, see if it's greater than the left value and less than the right value, and output a Boolean on signal if both are true. In the function block, we will use the function for if action 1 is pressed, which I will show here, and set the on to 1, and the off to 0. This is literally one of the most basic functions you can use for inputs. Here's a diagram for what's happening. Pause if you want to read it. And here is some obligatory name calling. Now that we have our function, and I have been sufficiently shamed by Homer Simpson, let's see it in action.
Why are you the way that you are?
I added this little digital display off camera, so you can see what happens to the function block's value when I press 1. And as you can see, when I press action 1, the missile flies. The logic connections themselves are easy. The function block goes to the threshold and the display, while the threshold goes to the engine. Now you may be asking yourself, Darth, was all that effort worth it when a control block can do the same thing with less space? Well, you are correct. But there is a second problem. You are speaking.
You shut up! You shut up!
The point is that control blocks and clunky Boolean comparison gates are not needed to make more complex builds work. This is helpful for when you have many different inputs connected to many different blocks and want to conserve space. Take for example fem, or for engine movement. In Boolean, this takes 8 blocks to accomplish. But in numeric, it only takes 4. That saves enough space for a whole other medium fuel tank. If you only really need one custom input, just use a control block, it's fine. But to conserve space on more complicated builds, functions are your friend. Now you may be wondering what I've been building in the background. Well, we're going to do everyone's favorite subject.
Math!
Here's a basic counter I overcomplicated for no reason. The basic idea is that up means number go up, and down means number go down. When you press the magnifying glass button, you can see the labels for the 3 ports. Every function block has 3 ports, X, Y, and Z. You can also see through my logic connections that function blocks can connect to themselves. Now, let's see how it works. Every time I press up, the function block on the left will increase itself. And every time I press down, the function block on the right will decrease itself. Since the top function block adds these two numbers together, it makes a simple up and down function, but there's one problem.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Well, here's an example. Pistons, my boy. Pistons can very easily use this function. Hinges can use it too, in the same way. Now, why did I do the functions the way I did? Quite simple, because it shows us a few things. 1. The value of x, y, and z values to do math in a function block. 2. Function blocks can have as their true or false signals as equations, including the aforementioned x, y, and z values. Now if you would like a more practical application for this stuff, here's some simple temp or two-engine movement. You should be able to visually follow along by now. The main point that this is trying to show is that the true and false values for your if statement can also be if statements of their own. Just make sure to write down the right amount of parentheses, otherwise you will call an error.
power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Let's turn our attention to the thresholds. As previously seen, turn left results in a value of 1, and turn right results in a value of 2. The thresholds reflect this, connecting to their respective thrusters. I'll put in a display to show the number currently in the function block, just to help show the concept a little more. And some LEDs for a little decoration, since this drone is already convoluted enough anyway. Not that I don't trust my piloting skills, but I did a lot of this part in one shot, so. Now, let's see our beautiful two-engine movement in action. At the end of the day, this is the main use for logic builds like this, movement technology. There are plenty of other players who will make all kinds of convoluted technology for, I don't know, maybe a cannon that shoots blocks of LEDs at high speed, but most are just looking for a way to avoid using reaction wheels. But that's another video. It's obvious by how badly I am flying that I don't use TEM, much preferring FEM, or for engine movement, which is a bit more complicated, and also another video. But at the end of the day, Droneboi is a sandbox game, and you can build whatever you want in it. One last thing, you can also use custom inputs in your function blocks too, as I will show now. It's highly useful for mini drones, separate from the main drone, or just autopilot, or really whatever you want it to be.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Observe as the custom input makes our rocket go. Yay! Now you have all the knowledge you need to make functional and efficient logic builds. And at the end of the day, that's all you really need to do to stop being a noob and get good. This doesn't do anything, by the way. It's just block vomit.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would.
Anyway, see you in the next one. Hopefully.